Okay, let's start. Andrew.
Hmm. Let's go.
Yeah, welcome everybody to our first episode of Hello, I'm an Author AMA. First and foremost, I hope everyone you are staying safe and healthy now in this very trying time for the entire world. And I hope that you're watching video right now in the comfort of your own home. If not, if you're walking along the street, please do not watch. Get home first. You can always watch the replay later. I don't want you to lose your $300 as a fine.
Yeah, spending on books. Spending on books.
And I'm so happy that together with me today is our guest author, who is none other than Andrew Chow. Andrew, can you just say a quick hello before I continue?
All right, everyone. I can't see who is watching, but I know that you are here to support us. Thank you very much. My name is Andrew Chow.
Thank you for supporting us. So some of you were actually asking me earlier, what does AMA stand for? So for those who are with us now, if you know what is AMA, can you type in the comment box? What is AMA? What does it stand for? Anybody know? Okay.
Oh,
About this question. Okay, AMA stands for Ask Me Anything.
okay, that's dangerous. Okay.
Here came about only last week. Thanks to Ernest. I know Ernest is watching us now. Ernest is the author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. He was actually sharing with me a Facebook session where there were actually two persons talking to one another, which I was very surprised at that point of time that it's possible to do that. So then, actually we can cast from Zoom to FB Live. So I play around then a light bulb, ding, in my head. If I tie AMA and Facebook Live together, this is what we will get tonight. And since I'm surrounded by many authors who are all authority in their own field, this is something that I'm experimenting and create my own AMA series. The whole intent is to give your opportunity to all of you to ask questions to our expert authors and to tap their expertise. And at the same time, by leveraging technology, we can then reach out to as many people as possible. Okay, so before we start, I need some favor from you. Okay, if you see this slide, need your help to participate. So this session is really curated for you. Please post your burning questions on the topic of personal branding in the times of crisis in the comment box, and then we will be able to invite Andrew to respond to them. Okay, and secondly, please help us to share this video on your wall, and with a short post. You can also share, create a watch party. You can also share inside the group so that as many of your friends can learn together in this session. And thirdly, this is the first time I'm learning to doing FB Live. There's a lot of jitters with me right now. So your likes will be really encouraging for me. I know Andrew, you're seasoned. For me, first time.
Yeah. Oh, Eric is here. Eric say hi to us. Okay, that's great.
Encouraging. Okay. So next, I'm going to inform you also that at the end of the session, we are going to have a lucky draw. Okay. So Andrew has so kindly sponsored 3 copies of his book, Public Relations 247. And this lucky draw will be only available to those who post questions. Okay. So after the session, I will draw the 3 names and I'll contact you separately. All right. So do not wait any further. Please ask your question in the comment box. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce the very first author that I've invited to Hello, I'm an Author AMA series. This is our episode 1 of season 1. So this person is none other than Andrew Chow. If you are on Facebook, Andrew is definitely not a stranger to you. If you're on any form of social media, LinkedIn, he is also not a stranger to you. So Andrew is a very dear buddy of mine and a very real giver who has always been very supportive. Ever since the time we started working together on his first book, and that was probably about 8 years ago when we
Yes.
did social media 247. Okay.
20. Mm, long time ago, man.
Andrew is a social media and PR strategist, entrepreneur, and a speaker based in Singapore. He has got 5 different careers in the past 33 years. Amazing, right? Best-selling author of 3 books. First one is Social Media 247. His second book is Public Relations 247. And his third book is Personal Branding 247. So in fact, we have put his 3 books into a box, and he has a box set right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew has been very kind. He has been helping me to co-facilitate the So You Want to Be an Author workshop ever since batch number 1 in 2014. Okay. And Andrew himself has also reached the pinnacle of the professional speaking circuit. Today, he's a certified speaking professional, or in short, CSP, having spoken in over 20 countries within 10 years. And he has addressed more than 100,000 people. What an amazing guy. He has also organized his personal photo exhibition to raise more than 10,000 for charity. Okay, so right now we are open for questions. Please post any of your questions in the comment box on the topic of what do you want to know about personal branding in times of crisis. Okay, if you're watching us, I'll encourage you to help us to share this video onto your wall, onto groups, or invite friends so that as many people as possible can learn together. Okay, hi Jacqueline, thanks for joining us. Hi Sharon, hi Kang Lun. So there are no questions. You have an easy time today, man, Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. We have prepared our own question.
All right. While our viewers think of their questions, and once they warm up, I hope to see the questions coming. Okay. Now, I think it's very clear that right now, the COVID-19 pandemic is an unprecedented crisis for many of us, right? I think for the first time in our whole life, this is a situation that is very, very strange to us. The first question I want to ask is that, I mean, in this time of crisis, there's a lot of uncertainty, and everything is being disrupted. Our life is disrupted. Our work is disrupted. The way we communicate is disrupted. There's so many disruption happening. And so in the midst of all this disruption, Andrew, I want to check with you. Do you think it's still important to pay attention to personal branding? And if so, why?
Okay, so I'm going to go straight to the point and answer this question directly. I think it's definitely important to pay attention to personal branding in this time, and it is also urgent to pay attention to it. So it is both important and urgent to focus on personal branding. Now, if you have not been doing personal branding during the good days, now it's a bit too late to begin because you are competing in the overcrowded space. Today and right now, in the last 2 months, you see that many people are stepping up their effort of storytelling. So this is also a time on the flip side to observe the people who were seemingly having a strong personal branding during good time. Now during the crisis, they are totally quiet. So this is also a time that a lot of personal branding are being tested, whether they have substance or not, or otherwise. So if you have substance, right now your branding is even stronger. So if you are branded as a giver, right now you'll be doing plenty of giving. If you are preaching prosperity before, right now you'll be showing abundance, you'll be showing prosperity. So this is a time to test someone's personal branding if he had already done so before. But if you're just starting out, you will have an enormous task of getting it going because you're competing with many voices right now. So to cut the long story short, try not to focus on storytelling. Start focusing on the substance. Start knowing your absence, the brand essence that you have, and what do you really represent, what do you really stand for, and then try your very best to find an avenue to tell the world about it. So right now there are a lot of people doing storytelling. So you got to be a better storyteller, and that is why it's important to pay attention on who has a better personal branding during this time of crisis. Yeah.
Indeed. So I think the substance of our personal branding is indeed very important, and a good substance can actually help us to stand the test of time, whether is it in good time or in bad time like this. I like what you mentioned also about, yeah, there's a lot of people competing for attention right now, and that leads me to the question posed by Eric Sia. Eric was asking us, with so many people doing video marketing now, how can we stand out from the rest?
I think video marketing is just a format of marketing. There are many things that goes into it. So video is just the packaging. Again, what goes into the video is another thing. So if you are aggressively marketing your services right now using video, you're doing it wrong. Even if you use video, you only make people feeling more obnoxious about your brand, because today even the big companies, they are focusing on branding. They are focusing on how much they care and not how much they know to solve people's problem. So if you are still focusing on what can you market to people and using COVID-19 virus as an excuse, you are doing all wrong. Now you should use video to tell the world what kind of a person you are, and that is very important. So the interview about you as a person, the things that you have been doing, all the webinar, how much value you've been giving, they're all important. They're still video, but they communicate vastly different stuff. So video marketing, yes, everybody is doing, but not everybody is communicating the right message. So you got to check your message. If the message is right, use video. Even a lot of other people are doing video will not be able to match you. But if you're doing something wrong, even you use video, is useless. So that's my short answer to
Right.
yes.
Agree with you. Video is up at the end of the day is still just a channel, and to make full use of this channel, we at the end of the day we do need to deliver value and to add value.
Yes, right. So the messaging, the message is very important. Of course, if you are always a good messenger, then it makes the job easy. So focus on the message and not the method. So that is the keynote I want to leave with everybody. Focus on the message. What is it that you want to tell people about you? Okay, the method is secondary.
Yep. So stay true to yourself and be authentic. Next, I'm going to move on to another question. Before I do that, if you're watching us now, I would strongly appreciate if you could share this video to your friends, to your wall, so that as many people as possible can benefit from this learning. It's a very rare opportunity that I managed to invite Andrew to be with us to share his expertise on personal branding. So next question, coming from Chen Fong. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. She was asking, some lean too much on the negative, right? Some are just reposting news. So how do we establish our personal brand without being too run of the mill? Simply just reposting what other people are talking about.
Okay, so if you look at the hierarchy of content providers in any platform, you will find that at the bottom, they are always syndicators. They are always people who just share for the sake of sharing. They do not even verify the source of the news. They just share. So they occupy 90% of the entire pyramid. Okay, now 9% of the people are what you call contributors. So they actually add a little bit of value, all right, by giving a different perspective, and that's about it. So it's already rare. If you are the top 9%, congratulations. But the top 1%, so I'm talking about 90, 9 and 1. This is a ratio. The top of the pyramid, they are the creators. They are the one that create very different thoughts, very different message and even content. They do very different things. So when people are all going out solo, maybe somebody of this 1% will be doing a lot of collaboration, and not just locally but within different countries. So you can see that the influence of the top 1% make them stand up a lot. So my question to you is this: would you like to be the 90% that curates information, or do you want to be the 9% that contributes to content, or do you want to be the 1% that creates content with a different perspective? So that is what I want to leave to you. All right, it may be very strategic, but this is how I see it. Because if you merely share something, if you merely comment on what the minister or PM say, then you are just at the bottom. You are just curating information. All right, many people are sharing the same link. So you have to create something new, be it an event, be it an initiative, or be it a webinar, or you can even sing a song. It's up to you. Do something that resonates you. Do something that's really you.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing the 99 and the 1%. Yep. So I think in times like this, being able to create fresh insights and share your own perspective is key, and contribute your perspective, your own personal perspective, rather than just being the 90% who share. And what's worse is that what really irritates me is that people who share without verifying, and that's why there's a lot of fake news going around on social media. And basically, fake news doesn't work if nobody shares. So I think the least we can do, even if you're in a 90%, is to always verify if you feel that there's a need to share.
That's right. So one more thing I want to add is that if you are the top 1%, you seldom read what other people have said. You spend a lot of time typing and creating a post. The bottom 90% are the ones that just do one thing. They just click share. So if you find yourself doing a very simple action, you're probably belonging to the bottom 90%, which is the majority actually.
Yep. So it's time to stand out for your own personal branding. Start contributing fresh insights and fresh perspectives. If you're watching us, thank you very much. Right now, there is 17 of you. I would appreciate if you could help us to share this video so that others could join us as well. Okay, next we're going to move on to the next question. This question is posed by Mary. Yeah. Mary's question is, don't you think that the method is more important than the message? And how do you send the message to excite the audience?
How can the method be more important than the message? That is a question I want to ask Mary, because method can be deployed by anyone, but the message is unique. Which is more unique? Is it the message or the method? Okay, so you got to think about what you want to say. All right, you see, everybody likes to do public speaking. There are a lot of TED Talks, a lot of Passion Kucha. There are a lot of people standing in front of hundreds of people. They all do the same thing. They do stand-up presentation. They stand in front of a group of people and they talk. But why are some speakers so engaging? Why are some people so forgettable? And why are some downright boring? They use the same method, right? Yeah, but the message is different. The delivery is different. So when I say the message, I'm also talking about the delivery, the art of delivery through the same method. So you can all use video, you can all use a sketch, or you can all have a podcast, but the message must be so different. It must be inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you. And the other question she asked is also, how do you send the message to excite the audience?
How do you send message to excite the audience? You have to craft out. Okay, so there is a simple way where you craft a message. You send it to 5 or 6 of our buddies and ask them truthfully, what do you think of this message? Is it going to be emotional? Is it going to be concise? Is it going to be far-reaching? All right, if most of your friends say, wow, that is powerful, I think you should share this, then you at least got some indication that this is going to be well received. So this is what I call a lab test, right? You do it with the group of friends that you have. All right, so this is one way. Another way is you have to spend more time crafting different messages, maybe the same message in different way at different time. You got to do a lot of A/B testing. Okay, you got to see which are the posts that excite people more. So I'll give you an example. Twice when our Prime Minister announced the circuit breaker, I actually posted 2 different messages on my Facebook to encourage people that it's not the end of the world. All right, just because we are not able to go out to get what we want, it's not the end of the world. The air is still fresh, right? You can go out of the window, you can take a few deep breaths, the air is still good. So we are better off than a lot of people. So the message really is, depending on who you're comparing with, all right, if you're comparing over your past, yes, you are suffering. But comparing yourself with a lot of people in the rest of the world, we are very, very well off.
Yep, that's true. I saw that post. Thank you so much. Yep. If you're watching us now and you have any burning questions to ask Andrew, anything on the topic of personal branding in times of crisis, please post your question in the comment box. Right. Okay. So right now I'm going to share another. I'm going to ask Andrew another question. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do the share screen again. Okay, Andrew, can you see the question? So right now it's obviously not normal time. What are the differences when we talk about personal branding during normal time and during times like this, which is a time of crisis?
So definitely now everything is faster. All right, there's no such thing as weekdays and weekends, no such thing as night or day, and there's not even anything about time zone. So everything is compressed time. And last time when you do a seminar, you would need 10 weeks to plan. Now you need only less than 10 days to plan. In fact, our webinar that I just done last night, I took 9 days only. From the time we published to the time we deliver was only 9 days for 200 word people. So all these were impossible before. You will never get 200 word people in 9 days. All right, with no marketing, but today is possible. So you have to tell yourself, every rule that you know in the book before must be challenged. It has to be challenged. So number one rule is, if you think that you can take your own sweet time to learn about certain technology, it may apply before but not now. You have to force yourself to pick up things at a very, very fast rate. That is the second thing you must remember. Third thing is that you must be even more connected to people that you need to before. Today, try your very best to talk to at least 5 different people on WhatsApp or on Zoom every day. Try to stay connected, because when you don't see each other so often, all right, it's out of mind. So if you are not active on social media, you're not active on WhatsApp, you're not active on webinar, you become completely invisible, because today everybody is spending time online. Number 4, there is no such thing as family time now anymore, because everybody is spending time with the family 24/7, right? Some of you parents, you are working hard to do your work, and you also have to have home-based learning. So today everybody is hard pressed for time. That means their attention span is even shorter than before. It used to be 15 seconds. I think now it's down to about 5. So whatever you do it faster, do it more effectively, and do it better. So you got to find, the last thing is, you got to find the right mentor right now. Go and look for a mentor. Go and be thick skinned. Go and be shameless to ask somebody, can you mentor me? Can you give me some advice? I have people asking me for advice every other day, and I try my very best to answer them. So this is a time that you cannot be shy. This is the time that you got to be shameless, because you won't know what's happening tomorrow. So I'm going to be very, very frank. Everything that you want to do it fast now. Right? If you do not know, ask the right person.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Thanks for that. I can really testify. I mean, in the past month itself, I learned Zoom and picked up Zoom when previously I have never bothered about it. And today I'm doing a Zoom cast to Facebook Live for the first time in my life.
Yes. And everything also inspire you to look for Google Classroom, and now you're doing for the next workshop. I'm very glad.
Exactly. And this Facebook Live was like planned within 7 days, yeah, before we go. And then next week I'm going to do my virtual masterclass for the author workshop again for the first time in my life.
You know, I want to say something. You know what you have done in the last 1 week? It surprised me. You know why? Because when you say you want to do it last week, you say you want to do it this week, right? It was so unlike you, you know. Say, I'm gonna do it next week, all right? Usually, okay, usually you will say, I'm gonna think about it, I'm going to see my resources, see my timing. But now all those rules doesn't apply, right? Right? We got to just say first and then do first and think later. So I like it very much. Actually, you personify what I just said.
Exactly.
And I'm so glad. And you don't have once a week, have two authors every week because you have definitely have enough bandwidth.
You are stressing me out. Yeah. I think what created the change is also the being able to accept failure and be able to be vulnerable. So I feel that there's no such thing as a perfect webinar or a perfect Facebook live session. Once
Yes,
you decide to do it, just do it. And basically, you learn from your failures, you learn from your lessons. You can't be planning for a perfect video session and wait for the next 1 month to do it. Situation will have changed by then.
definitely, definitely. So early on, we had one Facebook Live. It. I mean, you went date for 3 minutes, and then we had to do a second one. So things like that happen, but we learn from our mistakes.
Yes, yes, can be nerve wracking. I'm still feeling my jitters, but thank you to all of you for tuning in. Please post your question in the comment box, and we can invite Andrew to respond to you. Okay, let me take a look whether there are any more new questions. Um, wow, Michelle asks, what constitutes a personal brand?
Okay, short answer is a personal brand allows you to stand out uh, among the among your crowd, okay, among your competitors, that you create a very good emotional connections with people. A brand has identity, the brand has essence, and the brand knows what you represent. So when people like you as a brand, they resonate with you, they create a connection, they just love you. All right, what is higher than a brand is actually a cult. When you come to a cult status, whatever nonsense you say, people will just say yes, you're right, right? So a good personal brand is also what people will talk about you when you're not in the room. So imagine if I'm not in the room and all people say about me is Andrew always borrow money but will not return. So that action itself becomes your personal branding because that is the one that stands out. So if 8 out of 10 of your friends say that you are a giver, you are very generous, then that is a brand. And sometimes you can't create that brand that you want to. You need to be authenticated by people who has experience with you. Let them tell the rest what kind of brand you are. And sometimes it's the best. It's just like the best profile on your LinkedIn is never written by you. It is written by someone who knows you very well. So if you go according to that, personal branding is a work in progress. It's an ever-changing, ever-growing process. You have to listen to other people. What is their opinion about you? All right, and then you adjust accordingly.
Okay, so the best is basically listen to what others are saying about you. And well, if you're not in the room, I guess that's the most authentic and real sharing about you.
So I just want to fill out one last sentence. Is that remember three words: be, do, have. A lot of people brand themselves as having something. A lot of people brand themselves as doing something. That is most common one. Who are you? I'm the best accountant in Singapore. All right, the cheapest, the most efficient, whatever it is. But very few people want to brand themselves as who they want to be. That is very difficult. So be the very first one. Be branded for who you are before you want to be branded by what you do. Because what you do is important. When people buy you, they buy anything that you do. It doesn't matter you work for company A, B, or C, they still want you because you are who you are. Nobody remember what you do. Nobody remember what you can do until they know how much you care for them. So be the right person.
So it's really about you as a person and not so much about what you do. Because
Yeah.
what you do can actually be replicated and be done by many other folks. But
Yeah.
there's only one you in this world. And that's what personal branding is about. And that's how you can make it unique.
Mm.
If you're watching us now, please post your question in the comments box. Just a quick reminder, there'll be a lucky draw. Andrew has kindly sponsored 3 copies of his book, Public Relations 247. And this will be only, those who qualify for Lucky Draw will only be those who post questions in the comments box. Okay. Now, very quickly, I'm going to move on to the next question. Okay. This question is posed by Gerald. Hi, Gerald. So the question is, in times of crisis, are there new areas where personal branding should include or existing areas that need reframing?
Okay. I think doing some form of charity needs to be getting a heavier, a bigger weightage right now because there's a need everywhere. So if you are helping someone, even for those who can never repay you, that is very noble and that is needed. So personal branding right now in this time of crisis must include doing good for the larger society. That's number one. All right. Now reframing of mindset for personal branding, the brand essence and the audit, the strength and weaknesses still exist. But today, your USP is even more important. What is your unique selling proposition? What is going to be the tagline? If you can compress everything you do and who you are into 7-8 words, what would that be? You know, on your LinkedIn profile, there is a section called the headline. That is for us to key in our tagline. So, to give an example, AirAsia has one of the best tagline any airlines can have. The tagline goes like this: now, everyone can fly. It's the reason why you exist. That means AirAsia is saying, before I came along, not everyone can fly. But because I came along, now everyone can fly. It's such a powerful statement. I always remember that. So what is it that now that you can be an enabler to something that was not possible before, right? So think about that. That needs reframing. But I think the portion about charity needs to be very heavy on the building of personal branding right now, because today there's a need everywhere. So if you're an insurance person, please do not keep sending reminder to your client that your premium is due. Instead, send him a message: how can I help you? Can I sit down with you to explore some of the government grant that you have overlooked? That is how it should be branded. So remember, everything you do, before you do it, you have to ask yourself, am I doing the right thing now? It could be a usual thing in the past, but it may no longer be true right now. So you got to think about it differently.
Yeah, fully agree with you. I think in times like this, we really need to be to empathize with our fellow human beings who are all undergoing through this time at this moment. Be humane as well. So I always remember this saying that you should not only be doing good, but you should be seen as doing good as well. So I always remember that good will beget good. So when you start doing good, actually you're not blowing a trumpet. You're actually inspiring other people to do good along with you. So if we reframe it along the angle, you'll find that, hey, the more I do, the more I'm actually creating this big pool of well-being for others out there. Time check. Now it's 8:41. Andrew, just now we started a bit late. Does your time permit for us to carry on?
I think we can take 2 more questions. Why not? This is the inaugural.
Okay. A gift of time. Yes, we do have questions right now. So the next question is posed by Emma. Emma asks, how do I start on personal branding as a beginner?
Okay, personal branding. Now, I think we're going to do it reverse. What you want to be in the future, you got to have a mental picture, is a vision. You need to have a vision of who you are, who you're going to be in a few years' time, maybe in 2 years' time. 2 years' time. Now the time frame is shortened, right? Because of COVID, everything is fast. So in 2 years' time, what kind of person you want to be? And then ask yourself, what kind of person you are right now? What is the gap? So, to put it very simply, have a vision, have a picture of tomorrow or the future. Then think about your mission. Your mission is what you need to do to reach the vision that you see in the future. You're not there yet, right? You have to have a mission. You have to think about what you're going to do to reach there. Then think about the core values. Core values means how do you conduct yourself while executing that mission. Just do these three things. Think about the vision. Don't think, visualize it. Visualize. You're supposed to visualize. A mission is an action statement. All right? And then the core value is how do you conduct yourself. Just think about these three, and the rest of the strategy will come into place. Because if you say, I'm going to be an influencer speaking to thousands of people online, for example, in 2 years' time. Okay, then that is your mission. And your vision is actually to be an influencer of the world, or for women aged below 30, for example. That is a vision. What do you aspire them to be? That every woman is an enabler in the marketplace. So that is a vision. Okay, how do you achieve that? By having courses, maybe. Now, how many courses do you want to do? All right, how fast you enroll them out? These are all your mission statement. How do you want to conduct those courses? Maybe you want to be authentic, maybe you want to be interactive, maybe you want personal case study. Now all these are your core value. So that is how to chart a very simple roadmap. Very simple. Okay, I can't go into a lot of details now because of time, but think about these three things. I say again: vision, mission, and core values.
Okay, and be guided by those as you go ahead to plan your personal branding.
So
So we are into our last question. Eric has been asking this twice, so I'm going to pose this question, which is by Eric. He is asking us, what are the factors of a good content right now?
Okay, so I think number one, it must be emotional. I think all good content is emotional. I think you'll seldom find a very intellectual content being viral, right? So simply because social media is not an intellectual place, it's not even a rational place. You can't even have a discussion on social media. After a while, people get angry at each other. They may even call each other's name, right? So number one rule to remember is that that piece of content need to be emotional. Next, it needs to be concise. Very concise. So think about a 1 minute video, think about 280 characters sharing. Very short statement. Number three, actually this should be number one. It must serve a purpose. So the content must serve one of these three things. Number one, you either educate people. Number two, you either entertain people. Or number three, you engage people. So if you can do all three, good for you. If not, just do one. Alright? So let me say again, remember, PACE. P stands for have a purpose for the piece of content. A, make it very addictive. Make it bite-sized so that people come back again. C, make it concise because of attention span. And E, make it emotional. So remember, all good content have a pace. Purpose, addictive, concise, emotional.
Right. Thanks for that, Andrew. Okay, so that's the last question from our viewer. I know there are still some more questions. In the interest of time, I'm so sorry. We can't really respond to all the questions.
Right. Now 20 viewers. The best for last.
Okay, so if it's okay, we are going to steal a couple of minutes of your time just to make a couple of announcements before we end today's session. Okay, so a quick shout out. As I mentioned earlier, Andrew and myself, we are co-facilitating the So You Want to Be an Author workshop virtual masterclass. So if you are viewing right now, please, you can actually scan the QR code and you can find out more information there. This is the workshop that I told you. It used to be a 2-day face-to-face workshop. For obvious reason, due to the current situation, I have converted this into a virtual masterclass. So 10 hours, lots of activities, over 6 modules. Okay. AMA is going to continue. So season 1, episode 2, where I'm going to invite Ernest Tan, who is the author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. And the topic is going to be financial parenting in times of crisis. Okay. So the date is going to be next Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. And same thing on Facebook Live on Candid Creation Publishing. All right. So last but not the least, before we end, I got 4 requests. So please continue to leave your feedback to us. I'm also in the learning process, how we can improve ourselves, how we can be better, and in the comments box. Appreciate all encouragement from all of you. Help us to share this Facebook video so that other friends can watch also. It may not be live, but it's still a replay of this video. Also like this Facebook video so that it's a form of encouragement for me to invite more authors and to produce more and more episodes. All right. And also, if it's a good time to support local authors by purchasing their books, you can check out our website as well. But unfortunately, due to the current COVID, we are not essential services, so I can only send out the books upon the lifting of COVID. All right, but you can place your order first. Okay, Andrew, any last words for our authors, for our viewers?
Well, just keep doing what you are doing and keep building a brand. I just want to say that all of us are a personal brand, you know. You don't do it right, other people will have different perception of you. So you must well do it lah. Everyone is a brand.
It is. Everyone is a brand. Whether you do it or not, you are a brand. So either you do it yourself or you let other people do it for you, then you have control over this brand.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
All right, please give a big round of applause to Andrew. I know we can't hear you, but you can give your applause. All right, thank you very much. We're going to stop this video, and I'll see you next week at the same time with Ernest Tan, author of Raising Financially Savvy Kids. Thank you for spending your time watching this video with us. Thank you. Good night.
Night.